Okay. So moving further, question number 71 and 72. Question number 71 is from the chapter General Organic Chemistry, and from 72 is again from the chapter Coordination Chemistry. Okay. So question number 71 is saying arrange the following compounds in increasing order of polarity. Okay. Uh, Generally, the functional group are generally arranged in the increasing order of the polarity. Okay. So if you remember the order of the polarity, then you can just mark the answer. Always remember the polarity of the carboxylic group is always greater. It's the highest, and add for then alcohol. Okay, and then ketone, and then what ketone. Here last one, if you say here ester and ketone. Ketone is the last. Okay, this is the priority order of the polarity of the functional group, if you remember. So carboxyl group has the highest polarity order. Okay, so it means D part. Okay, what you generally mean by polarity means removing of this acidic hydrogen and the amount of negative charge, or the amount of strength this compound holds to attract the electron towards it, that is known as polarity. Okay, so carboxylic has the most strength, so means option number D would be the greatest, means option number third cancel, option number first cancel. Then alcohol means B part, so second option cancel, so last option is the answer, option number 4. Okay, and then ester, and then ketone, last one is ketone. Ketone has the lowest polarity, Okay, moving on to the question number 72. According to the CFSE theory, the correct order of diagonal, it is based on your memory. Okay, if you remember, then according to these, the CO group has the highest strength. Okay, and then what? NH3, then water, and the last is the halogen Cl minus. This is the order. If you see, option number second is the answer. Very easy question. Okay, moving on to the next questions. Moving on to next questions. Question number 73, 74, 75, 76, and 77. Okay. So first of all, question number 73. Question number 73 is from the chapter Biomolecules. 74 is from the chapter Mole Concept. 75 is from the chapter Periodic Table. And 76 is from the chapter GOC. And 77 is from the chapter Kinetics. Okay. So, first of all, solving question number 73. It is saying that the amino acid that gives a red blood color on treatment of it with the sodium extract with sodium nitroprusside is, which gives red blood color. So in practical organic chemistry, you generally learn the compounds that contain sulfur. They generally gives red blood color on the treatment with sodium nitroprusside. Okay, so you need to remember all the structure of these amino acids, and if you have read the NCERT, there the list of amino acids have been given with their structures. Okay, so if you see here, then methionine is only the amino acid here which has a sulfur compound in it. Okay, so this means if you treat it with sodium nitroprusside, it will give red blood color. Okay, so the answer for this question is methionine. So I will be drawing the structure of methionine, and and I will show you that yeah, it is containing the sulfur group. Okay, so methionine structure is like this. If you can see, then this is CH3 S OH double bond O and NH2. This is the structure of what? Methionine. You can see sulfur is here. So means this will give red blood color on treatment with the sodium nitroprusside. Okay. So for 73, option number 4 is the correct answer. Okay. So moving on to the next questions. Question number 75. Sorry, 74. 74 is saying in an acidic medium 10 ml of 0.25 molar oxalic acid is treated with KMnO4 solution. If the volume of KMnO4 solution requires to reach the let us first solve question number 75, then we will rub this and I will draw you the solution of this. Okay, first of all, let's see question number 75. The correct statement is aluminium has 5 valence orbitals. Really, aluminium has 5 valence orbitals? No, aluminium has 4 valence orbitals. Means option number 1 is wrong. Boron has maximum covalency of 4. It is right, boron has always a covalency of 4. So option number 2 is right. Beryllium has 3 valence electrons. Do beryllium has 3 valence electrons? No, it has 4 valence electrons. Okay. So this option also wrong. Magnesium has maximum covalency of 4. No, maximum covalency of magnesium is 6. So means this option also wrong. Means option number second is the answer to question number 75. Boron has a maximum covalency of 4. Okay, this was based on your memory of the periodic table. Okay, rubbing the question number 75 here, we will solve now question number 74. Okay. Okay. Here, okay. One more question here we have. It is a very also easy question. It will be also be solved manually. Among the following, the compound having conjugated double bond. What do you mean by conjugated double bond? See, conjugated double bond means two double bonds are separated with a single bond. Means bonds are in what conjugation? It will go like this and it will go like this. Means a single bond means alternative double bonds are known as conjugated double bonds. So you can see here hepta 1,6-diene. No, hepta 1,3-diene. Hepta 1,3-diene. How? Hepta 1,3-diene. See, hepta means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. Hepta 1,3-diene. 1,3 means 1, 2, 3, 4. They are separated by a single bond. So means option number second is the answer. It has a conjugated double bond. You can see. Okay. Now this question is also solved. Question number 76. Now moving on to the numerical question. Why I was solving these questions first? Because for the numerical questions you need space. Okay. Now we will solving question number 74 here. So question number 74 is saying, in an acidic medium, the volume of 0.25 molar oxalic acid is titrated with KMnO4 solution. Okay, if the volume of the KMnO4 solution required to reach endpoint is 10 ml, you have to tell the strength of the KMnO4 solution. Strength generally means molarity. Okay, so here, what do you do in these type of questions? You generally put the gram equivalents equal, means N1 V1 will be equal to N2 V2. Clear? Now, if you here see, then N1 V1 NF1. What do you mean by NF1? N factor 1 and N2 volume 2 and factor 2. This is for what? This is for oxalic acid. And this is for KMnO4. So how many moles? N1 in an acidic medium, 10 ml of 0.25 molar oxalic acid is titrated with KMnO4 solution. Okay, so here if you see the N factor is what? N factor is 2. So 2 into volume. What is the volume? Volume is 10. Okay, and molarity 0.25 is equal to, what is the N factor here? N factor here will be what? N factor is the volume of the solution required. Volume is 10 into if you see the N factor. N factor is what? What is the N factor for KMnO4 in acidic medium? 5 into the strength. Okay. Here if you see the strength, N1 was what? Here strength was 0.25 molar. I have denoted it by N1. You can denote it by M1, M2 also. Okay. So here if you see, then the strength here, N1 is for the oxalic acid is how what? 0.25. The volume was what? 10. What was the N factor for oxalic acid? 2. Similarly here, if you see, you need to take out the strength N2 here. Volume V2 is 10 and N factor for the KMnO4 in an acidic medium is 5. We need to just solve this 10 cancel. And this will be what? 0.50 by 5 is equals to N2. So 0.10 means the strength N2 will be what? 0.10. Option number second. Very simple. You just need to remember the N factor and you have to put the gram equivalents equal. Okay. This question is also solved. Now coming on to the main question. This question is quite interesting question. Okay. Now see, last question if you see here from the chapter kinetics. This question is saying what? This question is saying, here you have been given a zero order reaction. 2A gives B, where K is 1, and if the initial concentration of A is 2 molar, then the time taken to complete 75% of the reaction. Okay. First of all, basically in kinetics, generally students go for the formula. You just need to what you just don't need to focus on the formulas. Focus on the derivations, how that formula came. Okay, because in this question derivation will be a great part. Okay, if you see zero order reaction, then in zero order reaction we know one equation, that is what? Initial concentration minus final concentration is equals to K times of T. This is the okay. If I derive this from here, but here K times T will not be there. Why? Because here the amount of A is 2. Okay, so we will be deriving here. If we write the general differential law here for this question, for this reaction, if I write a general differential form, so there will be what? You know how to write minus 1 by 2 dA by dt is equals to what? Is equals to K times R to the power n denotes the order of reaction. Here order is what? 0. So n will be 0. So minus 1 by 2 dA by dt is equals to K. Okay. Now what will you do? Now minus dA will be 2K dt. Now you will integrate both the sides. Here integration will be from initially concentration A naught and final concentration A, and here from 0 to T. So if you integrate this, it will come out to be initial concentration minus final concentration is equals to 2 times Kt. This equation is there. From this equation we will find how much time does it take. Okay. So now in the question you have been given what? You have been given that the initial concentration A naught is 2. You have been given K is 1. Okay, so you need to find the time. So first of all you need to find the final concentration. What will be the value for final concentration? Final concentration will be what? You need to find the how much time does the reaction take to complete 75% of the reaction. Means 75% of the reaction. Initial concentration of reaction was what? It was obviously 2, means 75% of the 2 means 75 into the initial concentration. 75% means 75 upon 100 into 2. It means what? 3 by 4 into 2. This is what? 2. So 1.5 means 1.5 times. Now you need to find the final concentration. It will be what? Final concentration will be what? It will be initial concentration minus the 75% of the initial 75% of the initial reaction, that will be 1.5. Means you need to minus the initial concentration from the amount of time the initial concentration reaction takes. Okay, so this will be what? A naught will be what? 2 minus 1.5. This will be what? 0.5. Clear? So A is here. Now you just substitute in this equation. So 2 minus 0.5 is equals to 2 into 1 into T 75%. So this will be what? 0.5 upon 1.5 upon 2 is equals to T. It will be 5 3 the 5 4 the. So time is coming out to be 0.75 minutes. This will be the final answer, option number 3rd. Okay, yeah, this was a good question of kinetics. You need to understand this part. Okay, then only you will be solving the question. Here also you need to derive this for the solving of the question. This equation, initial concentration minus final concentration is equal to 2 times Kt. Okay, so now moving on to the next question. Okay guys, moving on to the next question. Next question number 78 and 79. Question 78 is from the chapter ionic equilibrium, and 79 is from the chapter redox reaction. Okay. First of all, we solving question number 79. Question 79 is saying you need to tell the decreasing order of the oxidation states of the following atoms. This question is very simple. You know how to take out oxidation state of any unknown element in any compound. You need to assume that part to be X, and you need to just do the final calculations. Oxygen has a oxidation state of -2 and hydrogen has a +1. You just need to remember those two oxidation states. Okay. First of all, uh, if we see first option, so first option P4. So P4O10 for P4O10 O6. If we say, then assuming it has X, so 4X and oxidation state of 2 -2 into 6 बराबर 0. 4X बराबर 12. X is +3, means oxidation state of P is +3. For Cl2O7, it will be 2x minus 14 barabar 0. So x is coming out to be 7, and the order is wrong because 3 is not greater than 7, means first option wrong. Okay, first option is not the answer. So now coming on to the third option. Okay, so for third option, if you see, here is N2O5, so 2x minus 10 equals to 0, x is equals to +5. For Al2O3, 2x minus 6 is equals to 0, x is +3. And for H2S, x plus 2 barabar 0, x is -2. Yeah, this order is fine, means option number third can be an answer, and it is the answer only. Option number third is the answer. You can check for these two as well. Okay, P4H10, P4H10, if you see, so 4x minus, if you see 4x plus 10 equals to 0, x is -2.5. For this, x minus 6 is equal to 0, x is +6, means order is, it is not greater than this, means second option also cancel. For fourth, if you see P4O10, x minus 4 is equal to 0, x is +4. And for this, 2x plus 6 equal to 0, x is -3. Here also order is not satisfied, so option number 4 is wrong. Option number 3 is answer. N2O5, Al2O3, H2S. Okay, moving on to the question number 78. So now question number 78, if you see, then question number 78 is based on the concept of ionic equilibrium solubility product, KSP. Okay, so it is saying we need to tell the order of the solubility products of following salts: AgBr, ZnOH whole twice, and Hg2Cl2. Okay, you know how to write KSP for any salt. Okay, you know how to write KSP. So first of all, if I would tell you how to write KSP. If any salt is given AxBy, okay, it will dissociate into what? It will dissociate in XA plus, okay, and YB. Okay, respect to their states, Y plus and X plus. Okay, now KSP is represented by what? Assuming it's S and S. Okay, S and S. S to the power X and S to the power what? Y. This is the KSP that you write. Okay, S to the power S and S to the power Y. This is the KSP that you write for the salts. This is general method. Okay, same we will be applying to the above one. So if you see here, for AgBr dissociates into what? Ag plus and Br minus. So KSP for this will be what? Assuming solubility as S to the power 1 and S to the power 1, it is S square. For AgBr, now for ZnOH whole twice, it will be what? Zn2 plus 2 OH minus. Assuming S and it's 2S. Why 2S? Because 2 is here. Okay, so here KSP will be what? S to the power 1 and 2S to the power 2. It is important. Number of atoms will be at the power also. So this will be what? 2 to the 4S cube. Now for Hg2Cl2, it will dissociate in Hg2 2 plus. Many students do here 2Hg. No, Hg will be dissociated in the atom number 2 only. Hg2 will be dissociated in 2 only. Okay, Hg2Cl2 and plus 2Cl minus. So solubility S 2S. Here KSP will be S into 2S whole square. This will be 4S cube. Now just you have to solve for S. Okay, you can substitute the value for here, assuming it as S1. So S1 will be KSP to the power 1 by 2. So here KSP is what? 5 into 10 to the power minus 13 to the power 1 by 2. And here S will be what? Here S will be 1 by 4 into 10 to the power minus 15 to the power 1 by 3, S2. And here S3 will be what? S3 will be 1.3 by 4 into 10 to the power minus 18 to the power 1 by 3. Okay. If you see here the KSP of AGBR, you would be not solving this. How can you solve this? 5 into 10 to the power minus 13 to the power 1 by 2. You can't solve this. You have to do the manipulations. If you apply some mathematical conditions here, then 5 into 10 to the power minus 13 is a very small number. And to the cube square root of it. Okay, so it will be also very small number here, but 1 by 4. Here a integer 5 is there, but here 1 by 4 is there. 1 by 4 is more smaller than 5. Getting my point? 1 by 4 is more smaller than 5. And assuming 1 by 4, how much is 1 by 4? If you see, uh, 0.25. 0.25 into 10 to the power minus 15 into a very small number and cube root. Cube root will be more smaller than a square root. And also here 1.3 by 4. 1.3 by means 1.3 by 4 will be something approx 0 point something. It will be 0 point something and it will be smaller than the 1 by 4 only. Means this number will be more smallest. Means if you see then the solubility is S1, S2 and S3. This is the solubility order. Means S1 is for AGBR, S2 is for ZNOH, and option number third. Simple. Okay. So this was the question. Now moving on to the next question. Okay guys, moving on to the question number 80. The question number 80 is from the chapter thermodynamics. Question is saying consider the reversible process for 1 mole of an ideal gas as shown in the figure. Okay. W1, W2, W3, W4 represents the work done in the process 1, 2, 3, 4 respectively. Delta U2 and delta U4 are changes in internal energy. You need to tell the which is the best option due to the relation of the all work done and internal energy. Taking the universal gas constant as 2. Okay. So first of all, see the graph. Here you can see that they are saying process 2 and 4 are adiabatic process. Okay. What about process number 1 and 4? Sorry, 1 and 3. If you see, if you go from 1 to if you go from process number 1, then temperature T1 is here also, T1 is here also. Means this is an isothermal process. Temperature is constant. Okay, this is the isothermal process, and here also this is the isothermal process because temperature is constant T2 T2. So if you see, then work done due to 1. What is work done due to the isothermal process? It's minus nRT ln V2 by V1. This is the work done for W1. So if you write the W1, then it is what? Number of moles are what? 1 minus of 1 into 2 into T ln V2. What is V2? This. So V2 by V1 and work done due to 3 is also 2T ln V4 by V3. This is the work done due to 1 and 3. If we add it, then work done due to 1 plus work done due to 3 is what? It is minus of 2T ln V2 by V1 minus 2T ln V4 by V3. This is work done 1 plus work done 3. If you see that the option is matching here, okay, here T1 is, oh, I'm sorry, here T1 and T2. Okay, here T2 and here T1. This is the option that are matching. Okay, what about the process number 4 and 2? They are adiabatic process. Getting my point? So in adiabatic process, the change in heat is 0. Change in heat is what? 0. And according to the first law of thermodynamics, if you see, then according to the first law of thermodynamics, delta Q is equals to delta U plus work done. In okay, this is the first law of thermodynamics. Now delta Q is 0 means work done due to 2. Work done due to 2 is delta U2 and work done due to 4 is delta U4. So if you add this, W2 plus W3, W4 is delta U plus delta 4. Option number third is not matching. Okay, option number 4 is also not, means option number second is the answer for this question. Work done due to 1 plus work done due to 3 is minus 2T1 ln V2 by V1 and minus 2T2 ln V4 by V3. Okay, so this was a simple question based on the concept of the processes and formulas, you can solve this question. Okay, moving on to the next question. Okay, friends, moving on to the next question, number 81 and 82. 81 is from the chapter solution, and 82 is again from the chapter coordination chemistry. Okay, question 81 is saying you have been given two statements, assertion and reason. You have to tell which is correct and which is wrong. Assertion is saying for an ideal solution formed by mixing liquids P and Q, delta H is equals means enthalpy is zero and volume mixing is zero. Okay, so in NCRT there is been line given that a ideal solution obeys Raoult's law, okay, and while it's obeyed Raoult's law and Henry's law as well, so the intermixing of the enthalpy is always zero and intermixing of the volume is always zero. The difference between ideal and non-ideal was that in ideal solution delta H mix is zero and delta V mix is zero, okay, and in non-ideal solution it is not equal to zero. So this is a true statement. And reason is saying no interaction occurs between P and Q. No, there occurs interaction because there are PP bond form as well as QQ bond form. So in order to break some of the bonds, you need to require some energy. Okay, and there are some interaction between PP and QQ as well as they also form P and Q bond, and you require a source of energy to break the bonds between P and Q, PP and QQ. Okay, so in order to break the bonds, they must be interact with each other. Means reason is false and assertion is true. Means assertion is the reason false. Option number 4 is the correct answer. Okay. Now moving on to the question number 82. Among the species given below, the spin only magnetic moment is highest for. Okay. We have been given 4 complexes and we need to tell for which the spin only magnetic moment is highest. Okay. So first of all, I'm erasing the question number 81. So, okay. So you have been given 4 complexes, and you know how to take out the spin only magnetic moment. The formula is it is denoted by mu is equals to root over n plus 2. What is n? Number of unpaired electron. Okay, so first of all, titanium, manganese, iron and cobalt, we need to find the charge on them. So in order to find the charge, so first of all on titanium, assuming it has X and the charge on the ligand H2 is 0 barabar plus 3, means charge on titanium is in plus 3 charge. As well as for manganese, assuming X, cyanide ligand has a charge of -1 and 6 are there, so -6, and overall charge -3, so X is plus 3 for manganese. Okay, this one is for titanium, this one is for manganese. Now for iron. Okay, so for iron, assuming x minus 6 is equals to -3, x is equals to plus 3 for what? Iron. Now for cobalt is have this x and NH3 is a neutral ligand, so x plus 0 is equals to 3, so x is plus 3. This is for cobalt. Now you need to write the configurations of these metals in their respective charge. Okay, so first of all for titanium, so everyone is in plus 3 charge. Okay, now if I see titanium, so what is the electronic configuration for titanium? So electronic configuration is argon 18 4s2 3d2. Titanium atomic number is 22, so its configuration is this. As well as for iron, so for iron the electronic configuration is argon 18 4s2 3d6. Okay, for manganese it is argon 18 4s2 3d5. For cobalt it is argon 18 4s2 3d7. These are the configurations. Now plus 3, you need to remove 3 electrons from here. Okay, so first of all the s orbital is there, so electrons will be first removed from the s orbital, then from d orbital. Okay, so 2 here, 3 here means 3d1, 3d1 here 2, so 3d5, here 2, 3d4, here also 3d6. Okay. Okay, so this is the final. Now if you see here, you need to what, you need to tell the magnetic moment. So how many n-paired electrons are here? N is 1, n is 5, n is 4, and n is 6. Okay, so for this mu will be what? Mu will be root 3. For this mu will be 5, 6, 7, 5 to 7, root 35. For this mu will be root 24, and for this mu will be root 42. Okay. Okay, now see, you need to tell which is highest. So root 3 value is approximate 1.713. Root 35, it lies between root 25 and 36, means roughly 5 point something. And root 24 lies between 25 and 16, so its value will be somewhere around 4 point something. And this 42, it lies between I think 7, root 49 and root 36, so it will be roughly 6 point something. Okay, so highest spin on the magnetic moment is for what? Is for cobalt only. Okay, because its configuration was what? Argon 18, 4s2, 3d 7. Okay, you have removed 3 electrons, so 3d6 here. So if 3d6 is there, so this, so means option number 4 is answer for this question. Cobalt NH3 6 3 plus. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Okay, guys, moving on to the next question, number 83. This is from the chapter Chemical Equilibrium. The question is saying a protein undergoes the reversible thermal denaturation from an initial state N to the state D. Okay, according to this reaction at 60 degree, the concentration of both the N and D are equal at equilibrium. That the standard enthalpy change is 666. You will tell the standard entropy change. Okay, so first of all, how will you do this question? First of all, the reaction is given and dissociates from B. If you write the equilibrium constant K for this, it will be what? Concentration of B upon concentration of N. Okay, it is saying that the concentration of both are equal, means the equivalent K is 1. Okay, now you know one formula, that your relation between the Gibbs free energy, enthalpy and entropy standard. Okay, delta G naught is delta H naught minus T delta S naught. Okay, now you know formula for the standard Gibbs free energy is minus RT ln K. Okay, or you can write it as minus of 2.303 RT log K. You can substitute K equivalent as 1, so this will come out to be 0. Okay, so means delta G naught is 0, so delta H naught will be what? T delta S naught. From here, delta S naught is coming out to be delta H naught by T. Delta H naught is what? 666, and temperature is 60 degree. You will convert this in Kelvin, so it will come out to be 333 Kelvin. So cutting, so 2 is the answer for this question, option number 2. Okay, so it was easy question. Moving on to the next question. Okay, so moving on to the question number 84 and 85. 84 is also from the chapter periodic table, and same as well 85 is also from the chapter periodic table, and both are assertion reason types. Solving question number 84, assertion says generally 3D transition metals have high melting point. Okay, I'm sorry for this. Question number 84 was from the chapter DNF block, and this is from the chapter periodic table. Okay, so it is saying generally 3D transition metals have high melting point. Yeah, this is the true, because 3D is generally the in order. Whenever we write the order for the melting point, 3D generally comes forward. Okay, then it's saying this statement is true, that 3D transition metals have a very high melting point. Okay, if you remember that pyramid type table, then in that 3D elements came on the top. Reason: involvement of the 3D electrons in addition to 4s electron in the intermolecular metallic bonds. Yeah, it is saying that involvement of the 3D electrons in addition to the 4s electron. Yeah, involvement of the 3D electrons is much higher than the involvement of the 4s electron, because the capacity of 4s electron is very less, but yeah, capacity for the 3D electrons is very high, so that results in the metallic bonding, intermolecular metallic bonding. So this statement is also true. Means both the statements are true, and R is a correct explanation of A is correct explanation of R. Option number 3. No, option number option number second. Option number second. Both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay. Now question number 85. The first ionization enthalpy of oxygen is lowest than the nitrogen and fluorine. Yeah, the first ionization enthalpy of oxygen is the lowest, and among the nitrogen, fluorine, which has highest? Fluorine, then nitrogen. Okay, so this statement is also true. The loss of an electron from oxygen leads to the stable half-filled p orbital. Yeah, in the generally if you write the configuration of oxygen, it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3, to 2p4. This is the configuration of oxygen. Now it's saying the loss of an electron from oxygen leads to a stable half-filled p orbital. So if any electron is lost from 1s or 2s, it will result in the what? It will result in the stability of the half-filled p orbital, because p in p orbital it is half-filled. 4 electrons are there. If there is any loss in these two orbitals, then it will automatically result in the stability of the half-filled p orbital. So this statement is also true. Means here also both R and true, and R is the correct explanation of your option number second answer as well for this question. Okay. So now moving on to next question. Moving on to the question number 86. It is saying consider the following reaction sequence. Choose the correct options. You have been given a reaction sequence and you have to choose the correct option from 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So first of all, let us see the reaction. The reaction is saying you have to react this compound from two different compounds. So first compound is PH, C, triple bond, CMe. You need to react this compound with Na liquid NH3. What this is? This is Birch reduction. If you remember, reaction name is Birch reduction. Okay, and this reaction has a speciality that it always performs anti-addition of the hydrogens. Means it will perform the trans. Means C double bond C, PH and hydrogen here, one hydrogen here and methyl. This is the compound L that is formed. Clear? Now you have to react this compound with H2PDC, Lindblad catalyst. Okay, this compound do the same side addition, okay, of the hydrogen. So this will be like this: PH, hydrogen and methyl. This is the compound K. Now you have reacted this compound with HBr, benzoyl peroxide. This is the reagent for anti-Markovnikov rule. What does that rule states? It states that the addition of cation should be to the side where less number of hydrogen are present, and addition of the anion to that side where more number of hydrogen are present. So here if you see, then here pH ring is there and H is there. Here side more hydrogen, here side less of hydrogen. So here if you see, anti-Markovnikov rule, Br will add to this side and this compound will look like this: PH, C, Br and H, and this compound C, H and Me. Clear? And if you see this, then this compound will look like this. This will be PH, CH, Br, CH2, CH3. This is the compound N. This is compound N. Now you have to react this compound with what? With HBr. HBr is what? It is Markovnikov rule addition, H plus and Br minus. Okay, vice versa for the anti-Markovitch not full. So this will go to that side at more hydrogen. So this will look like this: PH, C, H, and H, and this Me, Br, and H. Okay. Now this compound will look like this. This is the compound M. So let me simplify it: PH, CH2. This is the CHBr and Me. This is the compound what? This is compound N and this is compound M. Now you have to verify the options. M and N are stereoisomer. Are they? No. M and N are not stereoisomers. Okay. Option number second, K and L are geometrical isomers. K and L. K and L is what? This is L and this is K. Yeah. This option is correct. Why? Because with respect to hydrogen, this is what? Cis and this is trans isomer. And both are geometrical isomers of each other, means option number second is our answer. Let us see third option is K and L are enantiomers. No, enantiomers are always in the 50-50 ratio. M and N are geometrical isomers. So M and N are not geometrical isomers. They are neither stereoisomers as well. They are positional isomers because Br is on the different side. It is here in this and it is in the other carbon at that side. So option number second is the answer for this question. Okay, K and L are geometrical isomers. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Question 87 is saying the highest occupied molecular orbital for Ne2. Ne2. You need to draw the molecular orbital diagram for this. Ne2, so how many electrons? Total electrons are 20 and configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 6. This is the configuration. Now drawing the molecular orbital diagram here. If I draw from here, this is the p orbital and this is the final orbital here. From here, this is the 2p orbital, okay, and this is sigma 2pz and this is sigma star 2pz and this two orbitals, this is pi 2px, pi 2py and this is pi star 2px, pi star 2py. Okay, and now for the 2s, this is the 2s orbital, and for 1s, this is 1s. Okay, and this is sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, and this is sigma 2s, and this is sigma star 2s. Now filling the electrons here. So now electrons will be filled like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here 6, 8, 9, 10. These are the electrons filled here, and here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now here 20 electrons are filled: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is the molecular orbital diagram for Ne2. Here you need to know the highest occupied molecular orbital. So if you see, sigma star 2pz has the highest occupied molecular orbital energy here. Means sigma star 2pz is the highest occupied molecular orbital for the Ne2 molecule. Okay, because it is at the top, means its energy is very high, so it occupies the highest energy. So means sigma star 2p, means option number 1 is correct for this question. Okay, now moving on to the next question. Okay guys, moving on to next questions number 88 and 89. 88 is again from the chapter coordination chemistry and 89 is from the chapter biomolecules. Okay, so first of all we solve question number 89. It is match the following. Very easy, the data is given in the NCERT. It is saying the which vitamin is obtained by which following food product. Okay, so we know that carrots gives us what? Vitamin A, so means A4. So A4 means option number second and first are eliminated, and we get vitamin vitamin B12. We get vitamin B12 by meat. Okay, means B1. So B1. Okay, so this is B1 and this is okay. Option number third is the answer. A4 means vitamin A we get by carrot, and vitamin B12 we get by meat, vitamin E we get by sunflower oil, and vitamin K we get by what? Green leafy vegetables. Okay, so this is the question number 9. Answer is third part. Okay, moving on to the upper question, we need to tell the geometry, means the shape of this all compounds. Okay, we need to match it. It is also a very easy question. Now, if I see here, first of all, PCl5. PCl5. So we know that PCl5 here and 5. So 5 chlorines are attached there, and the shape of PCl5 is what? Is sp3d2. sp3d2. Okay, sp3d2, and here if I see sp3d2 and brf5, brf5 brf5 also has what? Brf5 has the shape of sp3d. Okay, bromine, it has also 1 2 3 4 and 5. So 5 fluorines are also attached here. Okay, sp3d. And now bf4. Bf4 is what? It has 4 valence electrons, means B here, F, and all F are attached like this. It has sp3 structure. Okay, now NiCN4. If you take out the charge on Ni, so it is what? X minus 4 barabar 2, means X is plus 6. Now configuration of Ni is argon 18, 4s2, 3d 8. So 2 from here and 4 from here means 3d 4. So 3d4, so d orbital. Okay, this is, so 3d4 means 1 2 3 4. 4 unpaired electrons means the shape of NiCN4 whole twice. Whole twice, I think it's 2 minus 1 second. It is 2 minus, I think here 2. Yeah, it's 2 only. Okay. So here 2. So the shape of this, here it has 4 valence electron. So the shape is what? It is. It has the shape of square pyramidal, and the basic configuration of this is what? DsP2. Okay, so DsP2 is square pyramidal, D4 and C, D4C1, 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 D4C1. Option number 1 is the correct answer for this question. Okay, option number 1 is correct answer for this question. So these are 2 questions. Now moving on to the last question. Okay, now moving on to the last question of the NEET 2026 chemistry section. Question number 90. It is saying, for the following reaction sequence, choose the correct option. You have been given a benzene. You have to add CH3, COCl, AlCl3 and NaOCl. Wait a second. Okay, you have to add these 2 reagents and P and Q will be formed. Okay, you need to verify the options. So first of all, in this benzene, you have added what? CH3 C double bond O Cl in presence of AlCl3. This is what? This is Friedel Crafts reaction. Al plus Cl3 minus Cl3 will take off from here, and your final compound that is formed is double bond O CH3. This is the compound which is formed. P, this is what? Acetophenone, and plus a gas as a byproduct is released, CHCl3. This is what? This is chloroform. Compound Q. P and Q are there. Now you need to verify the option. Both P and Q are carboxylic carbonyl compounds. Wrong. If P is the sodium salt of the carboxylic acid, Q is a primary alcohol. Is Q a primary alcohol? No. Wrong. P and Q are aromatic compounds. This is also wrong. Fourth option only answer. See, if P gives a carboxylic acid on acidification, I will verify the option C. If this is a compound and it gives carboxylic acid on acidification, if I acidified it, then it gives what? COO minus, okay, and Na plus. This gives a carboxylic group on acidification, and Q gives a poisonous gas on exposure to the air. If you expose this thing into air, H mu, then what will form? COCl3. This is which gas? This is phosgene. PHOSGENE. This is a poisonous gas that is formed with the exposure of air. Okay, so these two compounds are formed, and the option is totally right. Option number 4 is the answer. Okay, so this was also very easy question. So yeah, that is for this video, and I hope you like this video. This is the last video for the NEET 2026 chemistry series. Okay, I will be back with such more series. Stay tuned with my channel and subscribe to my channel Study with Ishant, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.